If you're home one evening and there's an unexpected knock at the door, it can throw you off. You open it. Hello, can I help you?
Hi, sorry to bother you. Hey, we just want to talk to you for a minute if that's all right.
Oh, what's this about?
Just a few routine questions. It'll be quick.
All right. It's something small, or maybe they have the wrong house. So they invite the officers in or start answering questions right there on the doorstep. What happens next is often not what they expected. It doesn't sound threatening. In fact, it feels almost polite. A lot of people in that exact moment want to be helpful. They think, why make this difficult? Maybe it's about a neighbor, maybe those words, we just want to talk, are chosen carefully. They keep the situation feeling voluntary and low pressure on purpose. Once you start speaking or let them inside without setting clear boundaries, you've given them room to ask more. Many people who had nothing to hide still found themselves in handcuffs or dealing with charges because they tried to cooperate without really understanding what was happening.
Those words, we just want to talk, are chosen carefully. They keep the situation feeling voluntary and low pressure on purpose. Once you start speaking or let them inside without setting clear boundaries, you've given them room to ask more questions, look around, or use whatever you say later. Many people who had nothing to hide still found themselves in handcuffs or dealing with charges because they tried to cooperate without really understanding what was happening. You don't owe anyone an immediate conversation just because they showed up at your door. You have rights that exist for situations exactly like this. The smartest move is to stay calm, stay respectful, and say something that protects you without making the moment worse. What works best is this simple, clear response. I don't answer questions without my attorney present. Am I being detained or am I free to go? You say it in a steady voice, not angry, not sarcastic, just direct. Then you stop talking and wait. This one sentence does a lot at once. It tells them you're not going to volunteer information. It asks whether they are actually holding you there or if you can walk away from the conversation. And it brings your legal protections into the open right away. Under the Constitution, you have safeguards when dealing with law enforcement. The Fourth Amendment generally means they can't search your home or your belongings without a warrant or your clear permission. By not inviting them in and by asking if you're free to go, you're showing you haven't given that permission. The Fifth Amendment protects you from having to say things that could be used against you. The Sixth Amendment.
Officers are trained to gather information, and part of that training includes keeping interactions relaxed so people feel comfortable talking. They can downplay why they're there. They can suggest that talking will clear everything up quickly. They can even say things that aren't completely accurate if it encourages you to keep speaking. This doesn't mean every officer is trying to trick you, but it does mean their job in that moment is to collect details, and your job is to protect yourself until you have someone on your side who understands the system. If they keep pressing after you've asked for an attorney, you can repeat the same idea without getting into an argument. I'm exercising my right to remain silent, and I want to speak with a lawyer. You don't have to explain yourself further. The calmer and more consistent you stay, the better it is for you. Getting loud or confrontational can escalate things, and being overly friendly can cost you the very rights you're trying to keep. A lot of folks worry that asking for a lawyer will make them seem guilty, but plenty of innocent people have talked themselves into real trouble by trying to explain everything on the spot. Nervousness makes it easy to say things that sound different later when they're written down or played back. There are cases where people who were completely uninvolved still spent months or years dealing with the consequences of a casual conversation they thought was harmless. Once your words are out there, you can't pull them back. You also have the choice of not opening the door at all. You can speak through it or through a window and ask what they need. If they say they have a warrant, ask them to show it to you so you can actually read it. Don't just accept their summary of what it says. If they don't have one and you haven't invited them inside, they generally can't enter without going through more legal steps first. Throughout the whole thing, how you carry yourself matters. You can be polite and still firm about your boundaries. You can say, I understand you're doing your job, but I need to speak with my attorney before I answer any questions. That kind of response keeps the tone respectful while making your position clear. Most officers will recognize that you're invoking your rights and will adjust how they proceed. This kind of situation doesn't happen to everyone, but when it does, having a plan helps you stay in control, instead of reacting out of surprise or the natural urge to be cooperative. The goal isn't to be difficult or to assume the worst about law enforcement. The goal is to use the protections that exist under U.S. law so that one unexpected knock doesn't turn into something much larger than it needs to be. If this ever happens to you or to someone in your family, remember that you can take a breath, say those words clearly, and then let the process move forward with your rights protected. Knowing what to say in the moment gives you a real advantage when things feel uncertain. It lets you handle the situation without giving up the safeguards that are there for exactly these kinds of encounters. The more people understand this simple approach, the better prepared they are if something unexpected ever shows up at their door. Staying calm, staying clear, and asking for that attorney before saying anything else is one of the most practical steps you can take to look out for yourself and the people you care about.
The more people understand this simple approach, the better prepared they are if something unexpected ever shows up at their door. Staying calm, staying clear, and asking for that attorney before saying anything else is one of the most practical steps you can take to look out for yourself and the people you care about.